Hi, I'm Dr. Ryan Sinclair, and I'm here today to talk to you about your social health factors assignment. And so what we do here is we're going to basically identify some groups, some social groups out there in the world, in the Inland Empire, and then put them on a map and then superimpose those points to what tapestry they are in, and then have a reflection about it. So let me just take you through some of the logistics about how to complete this assignment. So the first thing here is I wanted to refresh your memory about this here. This is the figure that we made for PCOR, and this section here, social, a church, family, community, recreation. You could have a recreational group that has a preventive public health message, or that doesn't have a preventive public health message but just simply gets people together and gets people socializing, which is also good for health. You could have a church that gets people together for their religious agenda, but that's also good for health in many ways. Family groups, community centers, maybe some kind of summer programs for kids, or soup kitchens for homeless, the whole variety of things. They could be nonprofits, they can be for-profits, they can just be out there to help people get together, and they may or may not have an explicit public health preventive message behind it. Anyway, so those are social entities at the broadest definition. So what I want you to do is go into the map and identify what those social entities are. And the way I want you to do that is look up the news for some kind of social entity that's hit the news in the last year in the Inland Empire. So I have some details about that, about the news source here and the physical address. And then I want you to use the tapestries. We talked about that in the last video, and how to bring up the tapestries. So I'd like you to bring up the tapestries and then adapt your map to the social entity that you found in your news article or your news source. And what you can do is you can actually add a point on the map, and I'll show you how to do that, where that social entity is. And then I also say please populate the map with other social resources. You don't have to do a wide variety of this, but just stick a couple of other things on there. And if you scroll in enough, you'll actually see that there's some things there already, like churches and parks and other social entities. You may have to do some searching online. You can use Google or Yahoo or whatever, and then search for news and other resources that might be available online. And if you're really aggressive about the assignment, you can go and drive the area and look, just do a windshield survey and just see what's there. Anyway, and then you submit your assignment. So let's go through this again, and I'll bring up the map here. So let me close or keep this open, but I'll bring up this one here. Okay, so we've got the LLU University, Loma Linda University Health Geoinformatics. Oh, and by the way, everybody in the class should have received an invitation to get access to the official Loma Linda University Health Geoinformatics page. Actually, if you have just a free version, you should be able to see the tapestries anyway. I tried it and it works. So here we are loading up the map for the ArcGIS online. And the first thing that you can do is let me zoom this a little bit so it makes things bigger. That zooms that. Let me just try to zoom the font here. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is add, and then you search for layers. And then you go to ArcGIS Online, and then you type in tapestry. And so what comes up is this one from 14, this one from 16, and this one from 17. So choose the one that says 2017 and say add to map. Okay, so now what we see here is we can click this arrow and go back, and we can see our legend here, and that shows us what our map is showing. So what we can do is zoom out of the map, and then you're going to see all the different tapestries here. But hey, you know, you can't really tell where you are unless you click or drag it or something. So you're going to have to go in and change the transparency. So you go to transparency here, you click these three little dots underneath where it says 2017 USA tapestry segmentation, and then you can click this and bring it up to 50 or 60% or so, and then you can see where you are, and you can also see the color of the tapestry. Okay, so you've got that built up. Anyway, so the next thing you want to do is actually search for a a social entity. So what you could do is you could go to Google and you could search for, say, public services or social groups or social entities, social clubs in Google News. So you can go to Google and you click the news bar and you can shoot for different news events. So I was doing that for a while, and I found a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. So one thing here is you're going to see maybe a news article about something. This is from the ICUC News, which is the Inland Congregations Unified for Change. And this is their official news stream, I guess. But what this is a news source that says Riverside Church says it will house immigrants at risk of deportation. So it's a Riverside-based church that is being a sanctuary church. So they have a news source here, and it was actually on the Press Enterprise, published May 13, 2017, which is just about a year ago from today. I wouldn't suggest using this one because it's in Riverside, but I'm using it as an example. So I read through this and I see, what they're doing and how they're doing it, and then what you can do is you can take this text here, First Congregational Church of Riverside, copy it, and then go back to your map, and you can paste it in this section here that says find address or place. And then you just click on it, and it'll bring you there on the map, and then it'll show you where that is, and you can say add to map notes. So what we have here is actually a map note here, and so that is just a little marker, a single marker of where the church is. And so the next thing you can do after that is, after you've identified that, let's go back to the assignment detail again, is that you want to show where that is in reference to what those tapestries are. Okay, so let's look at that. So since we put the marker there on that church that I was talking to you about, you can simply just click anywhere on the green and it'll bring up this, searching. Okay, it says set to impress, 11D. Okay, so is that service that they're offering relevant for that income group? Well, maybe. Let's look at this one. It's red and it says Social Security net set. So this one, it has a really low median household income. So this might be more of the, well, this says senior styles life mode population group, but nonetheless, it has a low income. And what that implies is, maybe there's a lot of undocumented people around there that might benefit from that social resource. Anyway, that's all I wanted you to see, is just justify, where they are, where their program is, and how it could apply. See, downtown Riverside, you're going to get a lot of people around there, a lot of people moving around. So what you could do is you can actually zoom out, and you can show more of what's around here. So you can click on this purple, that is Las Casas, and that's more of a Latino ethnic area. You click on that, and then the Esri site comes up, and it's going to give you this next wave, Las Casas. So, maybe there's going to be more people, more extended family members there that might not have their residency requirements. So they might go to that sanctuary church for services or for help, with legal help or other things. Anyway, so that's one way to complete the assignment, and then you write up the detail about that. Let me show you something else you can do. So I just added this map notes here. And so what you can do for that is you can go to Edit, Map Notes, and then you can actually put text. Put text right here. So then you could just type something. So I'm just typing church here for simplicity. But you can actually label that, and that is what you can put in your assignment. So when you have the final thing that you're going to turn in, let me just show you that here. This is the submit. You just want to submit your formatted documents with your 2 to 3 page narrative, images, and maps contained within. So you can answer all of the above questions, but I would say that you can just, again, screenshot this and make sure that you're able to label it with the right tapestries and make it relevant for your reflection discussion. Anyway, that's it for now. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll be watching the Canvas messages this week.